All right, welcome. I'm super excited to have everyone on today. Some familiar faces have joined us again. Just a reminder, you can add any questions to the chat and I'll jump in and I'll be able to see that and answer that as we go. But the reason I'm excited for today's session is because it's all about planning for the year ahead. And I think we're coming into a really interesting time for our economy. And I think those that plan and strategize for not only just 2023, but beyond are going to definitely be at a major advantage. So let's jump straight into it. And cool. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Michael Colman. I am the owner of Local Health Marketing, and we're an agency that specialises in the allied health space. We do websites, SEO, Google Ads, Facebook ads, and everything in between. My background is coming from the corporate world, also in the agency land, where I crafted my digital skills. So I was exposed to some pretty major projects, web projects, SEO projects and stuff. And now I kind of see my job as deciphering all that digital noise and figuring out what works best for the allied health space. If you ever try to keep up with digital, like every couple of weeks, there's either a Google algorithm update, a Facebook update, a shiny new object, and I kind of love it all. I love trialing it. Some tactics are going to work for us, some just aren't, but that's just the nature of the beast, and that's where the testing really comes in and can work really well. I've got the experience in WordPress, SEO, Google Ads, and Facebook ads. I'm someone that loves learning, but also loves teaching. So I've managed to build a team of 7 extremely talented people that just get stuff done. And we're always sort of sharing ideas and teaching and training each other and really pushing the digital boundary, especially in the allied health space. So for today's session, I've actually done a lot of these sessions already. So I've kind of 2 things. One, I've sat on a couple of webinars that just go on for way too long. So I'm hoping I can sort of run through this pretty quickly. And then, you have the opportunity to say, watch this right now. A bunch of you are online, and then come back to it. I'll upload it to YouTube, or it will be on our website as well. But what I wanted to do was help you guys set some clear goals and some targets for the year. Realign your KPIs and tracking to achieve those outcomes. And ultimately, it's all about mapping out a plan. So, what are our budgets? What are our channels? And how can we learn about those important trends? But also set you guys up for massive success in 2023 and beyond. Let's do it. So in the first part of this session, I really wanted to talk about the boring stuff, which is the numbers. I'm obviously not an accountant, but I do also run a business. So I know what it's like to, get your profit and loss and your balance sheet, and it's just so confusing. And even jumping into Clinico as well is really confusing for reports. So, and it's the same in our industry as well. And so what I'm a big fan of is just putting those numbers into spreadsheets. And every single month you come in there, you review the numbers. It can take half an hour. I've got it diarised. So on the 25th of every single month, I just have 45 minutes where I'm literally just punching in the numbers, doing the research. You kind of have to pluck them from a couple of spots, but that's fine. What I like to know is, what's the current snapshot? Where are we sitting today? And I did a bunch of research, and I have, over the past little bit, speaking to different practitioners, some consultants and accountants as well. And this is the list that everyone seems to have a finger on the pulse with. So total number of hours available for treatments, either per week or per month, what works for you. Total number of, clients or patients, bookings, the average dollar spent per client, number of new clients per week, and number of client rebooked per week as well. So what I've done is I've put together a spreadsheet for you guys that you can just head over to our website, copy this URL, or you just put in 2023/plan. And this is going to redirect you to Google Sheets here. And I will wait for it to load. And I feel that those that have a finger, really know their numbers inside out, generally the people that do best with their clinics. You can ask them any questions and bang, they know the answer straight away. So what I thought would be handy for you guys is, if you've got a bunch of practitioners, I've just given 4 here, but you could easily just copy, and if you have more than this, 4 rows, and just kind of add that to there. There you go, 8. And then you might even just have to update these numbers here. So you would have to just go 9, etc. I probably won't get to do this now, but the idea is that we're keeping tabs on every single practitioner. So how many hours do they have available, in this instance, it's per week? What's the average billable hours like? What does that kind of look like? And what's the utilization rate? This guy's at 83%, or this guy's at 90%, and where do we, and what's the benchmark? Like, as a clinic, for you to be profitable, where does that number need to be at? So this just kind of gives you a nice little breakdown of that. And then you can also figure out as well is like, okay, well, why doesn't practitioner A have as high as practitioner B? Could we speak to reception and get them to start to book in for that? Sort of thing, or maybe they need coaching on, getting returning patients through the door, but that's kind of another subject matter. Then I've got you to enter in your booking fees. The available hours will just kind of automatically update. And then you're going to be able to see, okay, these are the available billable hours per month that we've got, and these are the actual billable hours per month. So the thing is, if you're at absolute capacity, there's no point in doing marketing, right? And it could be a game of just, well, how do we get our margins better? So this will really give you a real clear indication. Then step 2 is all about understanding the appointment type. So how many of those are new patients and how many of those are returning patients? And what were the number of no-shows and what were the number of cancellations as well, per week, or if you want to change this per month. Is really important, because if we've got, a high amount of no-shows, then can we put some SMS automation in place to make sure, or a confirmation message to make sure that, they are going to come in? Or do we have a fee, cancellation fee, and start to really charge that out? Revenue and book jobs. So basically this is our target. So, we want to hit the 600,000 revenue mark this year. What does our weekly revenue need to be? What's our average patient lifetime value? And how many new patients do we need to hit that goal? So if we had this at 500, and at the moment, could we actually get it to 850 through SMS automation and email automation, and also hit our budget that way? Or, have we exhausted this number and we absolutely have to go after new patients? So they're the type of questions I'd be asking myself as a clinic owner. So again, if you've got questions, drop them in the chat. More than happy to answer anything as we're going along. So once we really understand, so the concept of this spreadsheet was really to get you guys to understand, right, this is the number, this is the magic number I need to hit here in order to really grow my practice to, this goal. And then we can figure out, okay, well, how much should I really be spending on marketing? So, what's the average conversion rate? kind of said like a caller or a lead to sort of like a booked in job. So it might be 65%. It could even be lower than that. It could be 50%. And then this is just on an update. And so then the number of leads we really need, per week or per month, is 20. And because we know we're only going to convert 50%, or if we know it's only at 50%, how do we get this up to 65%? That could be a task as well. And then you can see here, we've got, what's the average cost per generated lead? So trying to work out, if you did marketing last year, how much did you spend on, Google Ads or Google Organic, and like how many clients did you get out of that you can sort of see, and then, put that number in there, and then you can kind of figure out, okay, this is the budget I actually need to spend on marketing to actually hit these numbers. So I encourage you guys to just close. You can go to File, make a copy here, and then you can use this yourself. So you might change this to monthly figures, and then every month you could just, clone this, make a copy to the existing spreadsheet, and then you could just do, Jan, Feb, March. I also did a clone for you guys already for like 2025 budgets as well. So you can use that tab in here as well, because I'll just come back to the next slide. I think it's really important to have these goals set, like real clear goals, short-term and long-term vision as well. So if it's 2023 or 2025, or if you can think past that, go for 2033. What do you want your annual revenue to be? What does the typical number of patients per month look like? And what's really helped me in the past is the sort of, I don't know if you've stumbled across Simon Sinek, why, but he's got a book and some really good, I think, a TED Talk as well, and you find him on YouTube. But what's the pool going to be? Like, all this revenue and is great in numbers, but what's the real driving factor here that's going to get us to really put in that effort to get to those revenues? And I think when you kind of get down to your core and what is it, you ask yourself why 5 times or whatever, then, you really have that pull. And I recommend writing that down, and I have mine written down, and I revisit it every single month at the start of every month, and just kind of pulls me into action. Okay, cool, this is what I was thinking in January, and I don't want to lose that train of thought. I've heard some guys also just record videos on their phone every month. This is where we're at, and then this is what I've learned, and you just kind of watch those go through, which is another really cool tactic. So what I really wanted you guys to get out of that sort of mini session when you come back here is just, punch in the numbers, know where we want to go, approximately know how much it costs to acquire a new patient, and then figure out based off that, okay, well, how much money do I actually have to spend in the marketing? And if you can justify that, then, speak to an agency like ourselves that, you can help get more leverage from your marketing dollars. What I wanted to then jump into now is, we know our numbers, we know where we want to go, what the hell do we do? So I read a report on Google, or Google put together this report on how Australians find and choose a health service like a practitioner. So 4 points I kind of took out of that was, Aussies turn to mobile to help them find everything from a toothache to tendonitis. The thing is, when I looked at our client data, it is 100% accurate. Like 90% of online bookings are from the mobile phone. So it is absolutely critical that you make sure your website is optimized for the mobile device. And the other thing they also tell us here is that on average, Australians are conducting 3.1 searches, to be accurate there, when finding a new health service provider. So the thing is, that gives us an indication that not only are people searching for, physiotherapy near me, but they might also be searching for, specific, knee reconstruction, rehab, physio, or neck pain physio, headache physio, etc. So you really want to use your blog posts, optimize those to get up the ranking for those kind of terms as well, which I'll jump in a couple of slides' time and explain further. But really, when we're coming to a site, there are a few things we're looking for: availability, price, if there's a quote or something required in your space, and the directions. Like local is convenience. Local convenience is key. Sorry. If we're looking for a physio, we don't really want to travel too far. It's all about the convenience, especially if it's like an emergency. I'm woken up, I've got a bad back. I want to be in the car for 20 minutes trying to find the clinic. I want to sort of know that's up the road. And then basically building trust, which is a very big part of SEO in Google eyes, as well as your patient eyes as well. But I found this interesting. Aussies sort of come down and they're considering 2 health providers, and they want to know, obviously, that they're in good hands. And what I feel is, it comes down to a few things, predominantly building trust, and through that being super transparent. I think, transparency and simplicity are real key to this space. So if you do have a speciality, like neck or headache or whatever it might be, it's really important to put that front and center of the website, because if I'm choosing between the generalist and the specialist, I'm always going to go with the specialist. Also, big thing is shortcut the online booking process and just make sure it's super convenient. Like, I've seen a lot of clunky booking platforms. Just go and test your own one. Most of our clients use Clinico, which I highly recommend. But then also just making sure the Book Now button is really easy to find, especially on the mobile, nice and big. And even the call, like if you click you can click the phone number and it takes you directly to the dial app on your app, and it's just really on your phone, and it's really easy to make a call. So no questions just yet, but feel free to fire those through. So I put together a little sort of diagram here on what to work on next. The one thing I'm going to focus on is maximising conversions. So, we've all got websites, we've all got our GMB, and they're entities that already kind of live there. And I'm going to show you that if we do a slight tweak, how that can really impact your bottom line. New patients, nothing's really changed here, like organic SEO, paid advertising. It's been the same for 5 years, and I think it will continue for the next, I'd say 5, maybe 2 or 3. I don't know what goes beyond in digital. There's some pretty interesting things happening at the moment. But I think it's all about, just getting the fundamentals right, which I'll talk about, working your database, and then finding a JV as well. So like if it's the local gym and they have a database of contacts, can you leverage that? Even through, doesn't necessarily need to be email, but maybe social media as well. Could you interview someone, put it on your social media page and vice versa? And then it comes down to really optimizing results when you kind of get a nice flow of new leads. How much are we actually paying for, a new patient? If it's, $120, we've got this all dialed in, but we're paying $120, so we really need to see them 3 times to make it profitable. What can we tweak in what we're doing to really kind of cut the cost and the return of, the ROI, cut the cost of the average cost per lead, and just keeping a real close eye on total spend. I know, you can go into Facebook and Google ads and all of a sudden you just spend all this money and, you don't even know if it's got a, return on investment. So just keeping a real close eye on that. I wanted to touch on these 2 scenarios, right? And this is coming back to maximising your conversions. So 2 scenarios, both getting 1,500 people to the website per month. One has 5% conversion rate and the other one has 15% conversion rate. Now watch this. Here, this guy's getting 75 calls or inquiries. Sorry about that. this guy, and then getting 22 booked patients at an average rate of $850 per transaction per patient is $18,000. In scenario 2, with the 15% conversion rate, we're getting 67 booked patients at $56,000. It's a massive difference just from this little 10% jump here. The thing is, if we can ultimately dial in our website, dialing our message, we might not need to spend all this money on Google Ads or SEO and all this sort of stuff. We could just get our website right, hit these numbers. You might not even have capacity based on the report work, the spreadsheet we just did, to even service all these people. So, that's like where I kind of want to make early 2023 a big focus for you guys, is making sure that you're tracking the right metrics and working on that conversion number. So in this instance, I'm tracking 3 things. I'm tracking how many people clicked the Book Now button. So here in this period of time, I'm not sure, it's 320 people. New bookings, 100. And in Google Analytics, you can apply a value to a new booking. I just put it in as an average of $100 for this client here. And we can see here, okay, well, we're getting 20% of people actually coming to the Book Now page, which is awesome. But this goal conversion here is 6%. So what can we do here to get that to bump up? Maybe people can't find availability. So do we put an online form or a message to say, if you can't find available time, give us a call? Do we have an online chat? There's so many things you can do to optimize this number, but the key is to just kind of focus on get clear and focus on your numbers, so okay, this is where the next step I need to take. And this is just another sort of chart we have as well, is then being able to break down the conversion rates per traffic type. So here, paid search converts at above 30%, referrals 30, organics 28, and direct 28 as well. So if paid was really down, maybe we just pause that for a month and see what happens. Or if paid's up at 30%, well, what if we double our budgets to see if we can maintain that level? That 30%. What's that going to mean to our bottom line? So unless we're actually tracking, then it's really you kind of get really lost with marketing. Maximising conversions, I want to kind of speak about this idea of talking to your target avatar. So unlike any other industry, you guys have this advantage in that you or your staff members are actually meeting with your clients on a daily basis, right? Like they're coming into the rooms, you've got half an hour, 45 minutes to treat them. What I recommend is coming up with 2 or 3 questions that you can ask some people, finding out what their frustrations are, what their fears are, why they chose you in the first place, and then just start to build data behind that. So you might set a task of every week I'm going to ask 5 patients, these 3 questions, and just write it down in a spreadsheet. Then over time, you're just going to collect information on that on your patients and really get clear on who your avatar is, rather than kind of having a guess. So if it's like really obvious that like mums are coming in after they've given birth, and they've got the frustrations, the pelvic floor, and the fear is that they're going to get judged or they're something like that, then you can really kind of play on that with your website. So you might have a women's health page, speak to those fears, speak to those frustrations, be real and authentic, be consistent with your images as well of your team. If you've got a polo or uniforms, make sure everyone's wearing the right uniform, there's the right amount of light, and it's just on every single page as well. I love this idea, and this is where I'm sort of thinking we're going to take our clients into 2023 and beyond is using video and multimedia elements. So that has been the thing in the last few years, and everyone's kind of jumped on that and totally understand that. But what I'm sort of wanting to test is whether you can actually create those videos as a reel in Instagram, and then you would have, if you open up Instagram on your desktop, you're able to embed an Instagram on a web page. They give you a bunch of code. You can hand that to your developer, or you can sort of do it yourself. It's not too hard. And just drop that in, because what I feel start to happen is more and more people are using their mobile phone. They're going to come to the service page. Let's just say we have 3 videos on that service page that are, what's physiotherapy, the benefits of physiotherapy, and what you can expect from your physio consultation. And if you've got your practitioners actually creating those videos, then I can click that video from your website, go to Instagram, where I'm kind of most familiar. I might follow you straight away, but in the reels, you can kind of get lost pretty easily. And if you've got heaps of reels on the different services, different stretches, different benefits and all this kind of stuff, then within 25, 30 minutes going into a rabbit hole of searching all your videos, I'm going to have a real connection here with you. I'm going to see that you're authentic. I'm going to see that, these are some practitioners that, I can really come in and visit. And then obviously just having it really basic in order for people to find the phone number, on Instagram, but also on Facebook. On your website with the Book Now button, top right-hand corner. Ensure there's the web forms. I think, they don't get filled out often, but, they're there for the after-hours people that are searching for you. Adding credibility, I feel works really well. The APRA logos, the physio and osteo associations, and you might have some local sporting clubs, etc. Call to actions on every page and every paragraph. So end of every section, just having a Book Now button, make it bold and stick out. And then at the end of every page, tell someone what to do. Like, it might be, have a question, give us a call. Unsure about if your service is right for you, give us a call. Or fill out the form, or book online, or blah, blah, blah. Mobile optimization, as I said before, is a must. So check out your website on mobile after this. Test live chat. It sometimes works, it sometimes doesn't, but just test it out. Speed matters in a big way, and I've got that in caps because I really believe that. A quick way to set up, to update the speed of your site is through an app called nitropack.io. It's a WordPress plugin. It's super easy to set up yourselves. If you get under 5,000 visitors a month, it's free. Above 5,000, I think it's $20 USD or $30 USD a month. The way I see it is if it gets you an extra patient per month, then it's absolutely worth it. So they're kind of my top tips for maximising conversions on your website. So I have this conversation every day, whether SEO still matters. And just recently, there's this new tool called ChatGPT, which is an AI kind of content tool. And I highly recommend Googling it, ChatGPT, and checking it out yourselves. And you can ask it anything, and it gives you an answer. And there are kind of these conversations around, does SEO still matter? And, is this going to take over Google eventually? I'm not sure if it does. I don't have the answer to that. But what I do know is that these, new tools can't really tell you, okay, go and see this physio if you've got a sore neck. You still have to do your research, and I still feel that Google's the number one spot to do that. And we know from the statistics that, 71% of clicks are coming from the top 2 sections. So the map, we call this the map pack. So the Google Maps up here, the GMB, or organic down here. And 67% of clicks are coming from the top 5 listings. So it's critical that you're in, I believe, the top 3, but this says top 5. So I'm sure as you go down, it trickles down, the percentage goes lower. So yes, I still believe SEO still matters, especially in, local SEO, having a local presence. SEO today. So as I was sort of saying, like, I've been in the industry for 10 years, and the thing that I keep coming back to, there's a lot of noise in SEO. There's a lot about, backlinks and buying links and all directories and citations and all these words that feels impossible to do. I strongly believe it's all about on-page and, getting your website right. And as I was sort of showing you before, it's all about the conversion. So I could be the best SEO in the world, and we have a 5% conversion rate, and I get you from 1,500 traffic to 3,000. The likelihood is that 5% is probably going to go a bit lower, probably to conservatively 2.5%. So yeah, I can get you all the traffic, but if your website doesn't convert, SEO, all the SEO in the world is never going to matter. Site navigation is a big one. That's where I would start. So ensure that the services are really clear in the navigation. So you might have a services drop down. And if you do physiotherapy as the only modality, then I would have a page dedicated to, say, whatever you do, like women's health, headaches, back pain, neck pain might be under the conditions, but maybe even sports physio might be under the services section. And just have content that's written for the user and SEO second. So what I mean by that is, right, if a user comes to our page, they want to know that we do sports physio because, speaking to or looking at most of our clients, they're all into sport. Then I want to choose the keyword and just focus on one, which is just going to be sports physio, might be Malvern, my location. And then that's where I'd end the SEO. Then you want to just write for the user. So what they want to know, what they can expect from their consultation, what type of sports physio conditions you treat, why should they see a physio, like just real basic stuff. And what I feel is get that content into your page. Then after 3 months or whatever, head over to Google Search Console. I've got a video on this in our YouTube, so you can check it out there. But after 3 months, assess your Google Search Console and see if there are queries, searches for those specific pages with what we call intent. So if it's just something like sports physio, that's a pretty generic term, but if it was sports physio Malvern, that's kind of intent. And that's jumping down a step to the on-page optimization with the blog post. So we wrote an article on back pain, and we actually came up, and then I waited 3 months. We actually came up for a term somewhere like, I think it was posture correctness, and I think Melbourne as well. So we ended up actually optimizing that blog post for posture correctness over back pain, because we thought, right, we're getting, 80 people coming to our site, to this page per month. Everyone talks about back pain, but maybe it's actually, if they can, fix their posture, maybe that's, going to have a better outcome for them. So we're sort of optimizing for the SEO keyword, but at the same time, we're still putting our user first. So we're really giving them some good feedback. So how we did that was, we found that keyword. We noticed that we weren't, so we hadn't even mentioned posture correctness on that page. So what we did was we just headed over to Google. We typed in posture correctness. There's the frequently asked questions section, and we just kind of trawled through those questions and just answered those questions in our blog post. And then another 3 months later, our blog kind of took off. And just, between me and you, no one does this. And then I feel that's where you're going to win the race of, doing blogs and get the most out of them. So yes, create them. Don't worry too much about SEO and rankings and all that kind of noise. After 3 or 4 months, head over to Google Search and just continuously optimize them for those keywords you think are relevant for the user. And if you just kind of do that, continuously do that, you'll see you'll get bang for buck out of your blog post. And you can do that the same thing with all the service pages. Location pages. So if you've got multiple locations, clinic locations, physical locations, definitely create dedicated pages. So if you've got one in Malvern and South Yarra and Chadstone, each one of those locations gets a page, and just copy some, get a bit of content on there. Try aim for 1,000 words, 1,200 words, about us, what to expect, all this kind of stuff, and snoop around at the competitors and see what they're using for that. So what content they have on their page as well. And ultimately, you just want to do it better for them. And we kind of call these like lead pages. So they're kind of funnel pages. Someone's sort of searched for Physio Chadstone. This is everything you need to know. This is who's working. These are the hours. These are the services we offer, etc. And then again, speed optimization is a big one. Lastly, before I forget, is the SEO on-page fundamentals. So we use a plugin called Rank Math, free WordPress plugin. I recommend just installing that, going over to YouTube and just taking a tutorial on how to best optimize Rank Math for your website. And then also the fundamentals of SEO. So the page title, the description, which Rank Math give you the ability to set. The heading tag. So when you're creating the content, you can highlight text, select the heading. You want to have you only want to have one H1, which often is the title of the page. So you don't even set that in the content. But when you're setting the title, make sure it's, optimized for, in our instance, in that example before, we changed it from lower back pain to the posture correctness. And then a couple of H2s and H3s. That just helps Google break up the page and say, okay, this block of text is about this heading, etc. Avoid pages within content. So if you've got a page on sports physiotherapy and it's got 100 words and you don't really want to write anymore, I'll just put that into the general physio page. But if it's thin, then try aim for 800 plus words. Set the image alt tag as well. When you're uploading images, just put in, sports physiotherapy, sprained ankle, sore shoulder, etc. Broken links are a big one. So what happens is Google comes to your website, they're going to crawl your website. And if you've got a broken link, then Google can't go any further on your site. So just kind of recommend, being aware of any broken links and just going in and fixing those. 2 Chrome extensions I recommend for you if you want to sort of do this for free is Checkbot. So you just type into Google Chrome extension Checkbot and SEO Meta one click. So you can just kind of go to your website here. This is what the SEO Meta tool up here. So we just kind of let it load. It's going to tell me the title of the page, the description, and then I can head over to headers and I can say, okay, this is our H1 tag. So I've only got one H1 tag. These are H2s, H3s, and you can sort of see, okay, this has a really nice structure for Google to read. Down here are all a bunch of H2s and stuff. I might even go in and make those H4s because contact us, get in touch, not really relevant in Google's eyes, in my opinion. And then just heading over to the Checkbot, which is really cool. So you just kind of click this here, and then you put in your URL. If you're on that page, it kind of, does its thing. But it's just going to run its course here. Let it do it. And it's going to give me an SEO score, a speed score, and a security score. Embarrassing. And what I would do here is just run through. So it's telling me a list of things that we know about getting your SEO right. So we've got page title, and it's got a good explanation up here, and then it all links to articles so you can read about it. About that specific tactic, and you can see the crosses here. So this is sort of saying optimal length and titles. So this has 107, and they're sort of suggesting 10 to 60 characters. So you can see down here, these are good. So I might go into these blog posts. I know there's some blog posts and just update those, try to get that up, just get some quick wins. Unique titles. So that's what I was saying before. You want one H1 tag per page. So we can just kind of come in here and that's telling me there are 2 pages that are using the same page title there. So I'm kind of go in and fix that. The H1 tag, sorry, this is the H1 tag. And you can just kind of go through the list, like set a page description, avoid thin content. Sometimes you can't avoid it, like these pages, I can't avoid it. It's just like what it's there for. Set image tag, so that's, something that should be done. And then just go and go through the list, all this stuff. Some things you can have control over, some things you're just not going to get control over. And honestly, it's probably not going to move the needle too much, but, definitely the fundamentals of the title tags, descriptions and H1s and images definitely still work to this day. In our space, like local SEO is a really big play, and that's all around GMB. So make sure you've claimed your listings. So not just Google, but Bing and Apple are getting big into the map space as well. So just ensure, like Google, make sure, like go to Apple, make sure it's all there. Make sure you got the right, the same address, like this, in the same format. If it's like 2A or Suite 2, Suite A number 2, make sure that's all consistent across, website, Google, etc. Generally, what I do is I'll just see what Google puts in there, has their address displayed at, and I'll make sure that matches on the website and Bing, etc. Make sure the open hours are consistent. Like I see every single time, every time it's just like inconsistent. Make sure it's right phone number, and then really important that you set the category. Most people have this right, but just have one sort of major category. Unless you've got multiple disciplinary clinic, then you'd have like osteopath, massage, etc. But just select one as the major category. This is a little trick I love. So I call them kind of keyword qualifiers. So what we're trying to do is see if we can get the Google Maps to appear when we're searching in Google. So in that instance, we had the posture correction. Google Maps doesn't appear here, right? Oh, it appears down there. So there you go. So I would use this as a keyword. But if I did it as posture Melbourne, for instance, yeah, still down there. So I'm kind of doing these searches. I want to make sure that it's going to trigger the maps, because that's really important for like Google Maps SEO. So yeah, if you are like, let's just see if we do like sports physiotherapy. Yeah, so that's a keyword I would kind of be using if we're doing sports physiotherapy. Most of them now trigger the map in the health space, but just kind of test that. And then what I would do is, once we know that our keywords are triggering the map, then that's where we're going to use them for our secondary categories. So when you edit your Google Maps, you can go to services, and then you can add in custom or manual service. I can't remember the terminology they use. And then just add in like 3 to 6 sub-services for physio. So women's health, physiotherapy, sports physio, whatever it is that you kind of do. And then what I would do after that is create GMB posts to your 6 most popular services and link them to the pages. So let's just say, you might have 3, right? Like you got women's health, general physiotherapy and sports physiotherapy. Create have those as the secondary category under physiotherapy. Create the 3 posts. You can add a bunch of content in there and then just link it to those 3 pages. And that will definitely help. And the more posts you can do, the better. Because what we're trying to do is just feed in content. So if you do a blog post, then create a GMB post. And if it's like, physiotherapy after, ACL knee surgery, then have that as a post, link it to your, have it as a GMB post and link it to your blog post. Reviews are really interesting. Obviously, because of the ARPA regulations, there are some practitioners that push the boundaries with it. I just think that it definitely helps. Like if we're going to go and we're going to go here, we can see this guy has 264 reviews. So naturally, I'm going to click on that. And he's also ranked there as well, in number one because of those reviews. So, is he abiding by ARPA? Maybe, maybe not. I think at the end of the day, there are a couple of fundamentals with this, reviews in they tell you if you've got control over the review system, then sort of, toggle it off. So Facebook, you can toggle off. I recommend doing that. With Google, there's nothing you can really do. Probably don't respond to the reviews or do the thumbs up and stuff like that. Just kind of let it run its course. And if you are going to encourage people to leave a review, just sort of give them the guidelines and say, please leave a review on your, level of experience and service rather than, the condition, etc., that we cured you, treated you, etc. I want to avoid those words. How I would go about this is a few ways. I would just have maybe, because of thanks to COVID, we're all used to the QR codes. I'd generate a QR code to your review page on Google. People can scan, just ask them for a review. You can do SMS email automation as well. But I think just having it at the front reception works well, and just getting the receptionist, to leave the review as well. Ask them to leave a review works. Paid advertising. So a lot of the time I hear that it doesn't work or this and that. The thing is, you've got to know your numbers. So how much are you willing to pay for a new patient? And what are your conversion rates? So if you're only willing to pay, $10 for a new patient, it's not going to work. If your conversion rates are really low, it's not going to work either. But if you're happy to fork out $100 or $80 for a new patient, then, we can get that, you can get your Google ads to really fire for you. And it's all about testing as well. Some months it works really well, some months it doesn't. So, being across that, pausing it. But if you are running your Google ads, just a quick audit, because I see these mistakes that are incorrect every time. Check your locations. You can go to settings, locations. Just make sure you're targeting your area. You don't know how many times I just see it targeting like a diameter of 50 miles of Melbourne, and who's going to drive that? And it's just wasted dollars. So I would just kind of click your suburb and maybe 2 or 3 suburbs around that. Times the ads are shown as well. Like a lot of them are just set by default to 24 hours. You can actually go to settings and schedule ad, and you can just manipulate it. So you might do like, if you're open from 7 to 5, you might just do 6 a.m. To 8 p.m. And you may or may not want to show on the weekend. Just sort of test that out. With keywords, we've got the ability to set what they call a match type. I think by default sets it to broad match. Broad match is just going to eat so much money. So please change it. It basically means you put in a keyword and Google going to determine if it's the right fit for your keyword. So you might have physiotherapy, services as an example, and it might think, okay, well, you know what, I might bid on physiotherapy jobs or how much careers and all that kind of stuff. Whereas if we just had an exact match, we're just exactly bidding on that term. So physiotherapy Malvern, physiotherapy Chadstone, we don't want all the other noise. And then what you could do is use what's called phrase match. And what I say, like go fishing, you kind of go fishing for new keywords. So, you might just change, physiotherapy services from exact match to phrase, and then that's just going to pick up a whole bunch of keywords. And then what I would do from that is you can go to keywords and then search terms, and the search terms are what people are actually searching for. Go down that list and you can just click on the checkbox and just add the keywords we don't want to appear for as negative keywords, and then you won't bid on those keywords. So say, jobs and salaries and university and those sort of things we don't want to bid on. Also, make sure you've got these create call-only ads. They work really well for mobile because they've just got like the little call button there. And, if we can get really good call numbers from Google Ads, we'll generally get a really good campaign. I'm not going to get into Facebook marketing, but today I think that's definitely another avenue. I'm still kind of playing around with it. I hear that I've seen that it works, I've seen that it doesn't. But if you do want to talk about it, I'm more than happy to help because I do know how the Facebook ads system works. So that's pretty much a wrap today. I didn't want to bombard you for too much. We're already going for probably close to 40, 45 minutes. But I think it's really important to kind of keep up to date. So what I'll leave you here with is check out our YouTube account because we do deep dives into Google Ads. There's a really good one on content writing that I did with Joan, our copywriter. A couple of good ones on marketing as well that I recommend watching. Then Rank Math for the SEO, just YouTube complete Rank Math SEO plugin tutorial. They're about 3 or 4. Whichever one you choose, they're all pretty good. I've watched them all. Then there are 3 books. If you want to delve into the SEO, there's 3 Months to Number One by Will Coombs. Really easy read. I think he was an ex-pilot from memory, and then just I think he got injured or something, and then just kind of found himself doing SEO. And he just explains it so well. It's so funny, so well written. Perry Marshall's the kind of the godfather in our industry of Google Ads, and he's got this book called The Ultimate Guide to Google Ads. It's super dry, I do warn you, but there's some really good content in there. And lastly, Alan Dibbs, I think he's from Melbourne actually, or definitely Australia, and he's got this really easy read, the 1-page marketing plan. And that, it's one thing getting your digital marketing right, but, that feeds in from a bigger kind of broader marketing plan. And it's really simple to read. I get a lot of my ideas from this book. I've read it a few times. The last few webinars I did were very much influenced by this book. So it's about picking your niche and, going all in on that niche and stuff. So I kind of recommend that. Testing and evaluating, and I probably should even have scheduling as well. All we're sort of doing here with SEO is that, right? Like, we're getting paid to sort of, we each spend probably over a month, might be maybe 12 to 20 hours just changing things and evolving things and, having that focus on the conversion rate and, changing the website, changing the copy and just seeing eventually what sticks. So testing, evaluating is really important. So, just scheduling time in the diary might be on your day off, just for 1 hour to just test something new every single month. So your homework and action plan is to know your numbers. So download that spreadsheet, manipulate it, give me feedback on it, love to know. Fix your website, in the first few months, just kind of think about, okay, who's my target market? What can I do to update my content? What can I do to get people to click the book now button and make booking or faster and quicker? Run your SEO audits through Checkbot and check the SEO One Meta plugin or Chrome extension. Optimize your GMB, claim, the Bing and Apple as well. And then, of course, if you get stuck or you're looking for a team, we're always available. As a thank you for watching this, what I would love to offer you guys is just a free 1 hour Zoom chat and a consultation. And I'm literally happy to help with anything. So let's just say you updated your Google Ads, but you're stuck. Happy to just share a screen and just, write a list of questions and I'll jump on and do that. If you're struggling with setting your goals in analytics, I can help you with that. Or just editing the website, you might just have like 5 things you want to just fix. I'll just show you how to do that. Share a Zoom link. You can watch my screen. If anyone watches this, it ends in March 2023. But if you do, sort of watch this after March, feel free to email me, and we can see what we can do. So thank you so much for your time. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thanks for everyone that has joined our webinars and has watched them over the past year. It's the first year I've kind of done these sort of series, and I really enjoy it. It gives me time to sort of think about marketing and how I can, help you, and I'm sort of learning as well. And for those of you that actually email me after the sessions, give me feedback, I also really appreciate that too. Have a happy holidays, and here's to a big 2023. Thanks so much.